Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make these strawberry fruity nail art design on these long stilettos. So we've only really got a couple of colours that we're going to use today. Of course we've got Food Coma, we've got Drama Queen, which is going to be our glittery red gel polish. We also have some white, some velvet matte top coat and a base coat too. The white gel polish that I'm using today is Loyal. Madame Glam have like a wide range of different whites. You can get the perfect white, they've got bold white, they've got Loyal, they've got all sorts of different shades. So if you're kind of in the market for like the most perfect, in my opinion, white, I would highly recommend getting bold white. It's just such a great formulated gel polish. Just the consistency, the opacity, the way it kind of works and everything is amazing. And not to mention that they also have like such a nice brush in there too. So definitely recommend that as the go-to white if you're in the market. Now here I'm doing the base colours. So we've got 3 nails that have Food Coma. We've got 1 nail that has that glittery red gel polish, which is so unusual for me to use gel polishes like that. I'm always on the market for some of those kind of gel polishes just because I don't have many and I love stamping on top of glittery gel polishes. So that's why I thought today I will incorporate the glittery one. And I also thought I'll be quite adventurous and attempt to ombre the glittery little bit sheer gel polish with the white. So here goes nothing, but I actually have to admit it looks pretty cool, especially later since we're going to matte top coat these and the glitter has a very nice cute fine little shimmer in them. It actually makes the look pretty nice pretty much with the matte top coat and everything. Right, everything has now been cured and we've got 2 layers applied. Now it's time for some hand done nail art. So with the hand part, we're only really going to do like a layered French tip look. So this is the start of the first French tip. We're going to have 2. So we've got the red at the bottom and you can basically just imagine that you're doing a French tip and then envision where the half line roughly will be, and then that's where you want to place your first smile line. If you'd prefer to do it the other way, so the white is going to be at the top, so if you'd prefer to do a full French tip and colour the whole thing in like as if you're doing a regular one and then do half of it on top of the white, it's up to you. It's whatever kind of method is easiest for you. For some reason I've always just done it this way. I don't know, I've never even attempted it the other way. It might even be way easier, who knows, but I've always just done it this way. So I'm doing the red first and then off camera I'll do another layer. I'll cure that all in place. Once I'm happy with everything, we're going in with that white again. It might look a little bit more tinted now because although I thought I cleaned my brush well, there was still a little bit of red residue in there, so it kind of slightly tinted it a little bit pinky, but only on the palette really, because once I start working with it, it's not that pinky on the nail, which is good. Otherwise I'd have to wipe it off because that's not the vibe or the colour I'm going for. So here I'm doing the smile line again and just going to colour in that top part with the white, and again on both nails of course, and then 2 layers we will have applied. Once all that is done, we're then going to start the stamping process, and that's probably going to be your longest part of the video today really, or your process if you're going to recreate. Stamping is super fun but very time consuming, especially when you've got quite a lot going on, and we're going to reverse stamp and all sorts we're going to do today. So this is a Moyu London stamping plate and it's one of their fruity ones, and I really like that it had the strawberry. I was trying to dig through, I've got so many stamping plates yet apparently none with fruits really, so this was kind of the closest I could get to a strawberry. So I've got 2 stampers. One is from Moyu London, one is from Born Pretty. I'm just kind of using what I've got to hand, and the more resources you have around you, the quicker the whole process is. So if you do find yourself enjoying stamping and stuff, I highly recommend getting yourself another stamper because it honestly makes such a difference. And that way you can also find that you're not wasting too much polish either, because right now, for example, I'm able to colour in the 2 of those strawberries with the same droplet pretty much of red. Usually by the time I would colour one in, stamp it, whatever's left on my palette would have dried up by then. So yeah, it's really nice and it feels like I'm way more efficient. So with the strawberries, of course, the strawberry itself is going to be red, and then the stem, I've got this really bright green that I thought would look nice. So both colours are from Born Pretty, guys, the stamping polish. I'm pretty sure I think all of my stamping polish are Born Pretty. Possibly the white was Moyu London. So we're stamping our strawberries down now. So it's going on the French tip, and as you can see, one's on the left, one's on the right, and it's kind of halfway on the white smile line area. Now the stamping plate had these really cute little leaves, so I kind of envisioned stamping down the branches, and then in the center having some wording in there. Stamping is so kind of subjective to what you kind of envision yourself to do. It's so funny. It's almost like art. It's like if you think of it like as if you're an artist, you've got all your paints to hand and you have to create something. Same thing with the stamping plate. You've got all these different images, but then what do you do with them? You have to do something with them, and you have to create something. That's kind of how I look at it. So most of the time I find myself that I've got a lot of stamping plates, different images, but I just don't know how to put it together. And that's basically where the artist part of you has to come out and be able to kind of envision, or pretty much the more you stamp, the more you maybe even research like how others stamp, the more creative you're going to find yourself being. For example, here I've picked up the wording and I'm actually going to outline it with some white stamping polish, and that's actually something I've come across a few times now, across different, like when I look for inspiration and stuff, and I've noticed some artists do it like this. So I thought of doing like that and too, and it's just stuff you kind of pick up through doing your research in a way. And it's a cute little outline, and it's going to work really, really well on top of the black branches that we've got going on. And later on we're also going to do this white outline on the strawberries as well, so we are going to re-pick up the strawberries again. So here goes the wording. There we go. Another different technique that I came across, I might have already mentioned about it before, but where you stamp and you place everything down, you matte top coat, and then using some glossy top coat, you go over only a certain stamped image. So let's say you've got like a floral design, and on top of all that floral pictures you've stamped down, I don't know, like a cartoon, you'd want to matte top coat the whole nail and then only glossy top coat the cartoon, and it creates such a cool look. It's such simple little touches sometimes, but they really, really change the way things look. So yeah, definitely just keep your eye out, look at other people's work, get inspired, and hopefully will be a good starting point for you. Here again, we've got those strawberries. We've stamped down 2 leaves. Right now they look a bit wild because they're just randomly on the nail in a bit of an awkward area. But in a moment, we're going to stamp the strawberries, and it's going to look a bit more better. So again, we're going to colour them in. I don't know if I've mentioned, but the footage is like super sped up, like ×3 pretty much. So I don't work this fast. Don't worry, guys. It's just the stamping part is always super long, and I like to show you guys the full process of like what I do in between stamping. When do I, colour things in? When do I stamp and stuff? So I keep all the footage and I just fast track it. So again, we're doing those little green bits, and then once that is a bit more dried, you then got the free hand to do the white outline. And with that white outline, I'm not being too careful. Like it almost doesn't feel like you have to be perfect with it. Of course, if you want to, I'm sure it'll look great too. It's just kind of one of those, make it as thick as you want. You'll notice in a moment, actually. Once it's all done, you see that maybe one corner has thicker white than the other. I did try my best, to keep it as smooth and beautiful, but you're kind of working against time. Stamping polish dries pretty quickly, and you can't really drag the brush. You have to kind of float the brush so that you don't ruin the image. So there's a lot of kind of factors you're trying to tackle whilst doing this, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just do what I'm doing here. I'm being pretty messy, to be honest, not being too careful. Here and there I'm trying to fix things up, but I'm just not going to make it perfect. So now that's gone onto the side for a quick little dry, and we're going to stamp it any second. I hope I show footage. Oh, there we go. Here goes one, and here goes the other. There we go. So that's the look. Now we're using the base coat. This is the one and only time we're going to use the base coat, and that's just to apply some glitter onto the nail. So on this nail here, I felt like it was a bit too bare, so I wanted to do some glitter bits and bobs. So I've got this red chunky glitter. It's a bit of like a mix between chunky and fine and medium hex and stuff. So using my ombre brush, I'm just going to pick it up from the pot and just kind of place it all around the strawberries, all around the images, but not trying to place it onto them though, only around. That kind of was a bit difficult, and it was a bit difficult to pick up the right size too. I have in the past tried to kind of sprinkle it, but I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. Sprinkling is still not super easy, but it's way easier than what I'm doing now, to be honest. But here it is, doing what I can, I guess. So I'm just going to take my time and just sprinkle that glitter all around. Once I'm happy where it is, make sure you take a last glance at it before you pop it into the lamp, because the base coat will move them about a little bit as you're working with the rest of the glitter. So if you've placed your very first glitter and then by the time you're done, that glitter might have moved a little bit. So definitely give it a last little look before you pop it in, because, you know, it'll cure in place and then you have a nightmare. So once you're happy, pop those into the lamp off camera real quick. I will do another layer just to help prevent any like lumps and bumps. I just don't really like that too much, although I am focusing to place the glitters as flat as I can on the nail to also prevent any lumps and bumps too. Once the base coat is applied, we're now going to matte top coat those. So I am using my Madame Glam Velvet matte top coat, my all-time favourite. So applying that on all of them. The ombre nail will have some glitter, no, not glitter, crystal placement, but for some reason I don't have footage of that. I don't know what happened. My camera was being a bit funny. It was being really, really warm, and it doesn't help when I'm filming this video, let's say for an hour, and the phone is getting really hot, and if it's really warm in my room, it just suddenly cuts off. So it could have been one of those kind of situations. I feel like I've had that happen a little bit too often recently. So that's why it's missing, but the crystal placement itself isn't very crazy or wild. So at the end, just pause the video when I show you the final results. On the French tip nails, using some red Madame Glam art gel. This cures tack free and glossy in the lamp, which is nice. So we're just going to do some tiny little touches with little dotting tool. The smallest you've got. If you don't have a dotting tool, then maybe use a toothpick. That'll work very well too. And it's just a couple of little dots, clusters of 3, of 2, of 1, or depends how large of a nail bed you're kind of working on. Obviously, I've got long stilettos, so I've got a massive canvas to play around with. So that's what they're getting. And then on the word nail that's got the branches, we're going to basically do that exact idea too, but with the white instead, just to kind of help it stand out. This is, again, my brain just going, ooh, there is just not enough going on and I need more, ASAP, hurry up. So that's where all those dots usually come from, when I'm like, oh, you know, it's kind of too bare and I don't know what to place. Oh, you know, do the dots, and they always make such a big difference. You might think it doesn't suit, but trust me, the longer you look at them, the more they start to look like they kind of work. Right, so that's almost done with those. Last but not least, other crystals, but again, one of them you don't see, and then the other two is the French tip nails. So both of them are going to have the exact same crystal placement look. We're going to have them symmetrical and everything. And it's just at the top of the nail, right at the top, going downwards. There we go. That's my Carte Rhinestone glue gel, in case you're wondering. And then I'm just placing 3 crystals going down in sizes. And that's that. If you want to be bougie, pop yourself some Curva beads. If you don't. I didn't, but I think in my prototype that I showed at the start, I did do that. I kind of switched the design a little bit. So if you switch back to the start, it looks ever so slightly different to what I've done today. It's just one of those where sometimes you make like your first prototype and it's just not always there and you don't like it fully. So you do little tweaks just to make it a little bit better. And I do prefer this one way more. Here goes the last set of crystals. Straighten that up, pop it into the lamp for a cure. And here are the final results. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I would love to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!